Hey, Peter.
Yes.
It's that time of the year where we like to reflect a little bit on what's been and what could be.
Reflect on the journey?
Reflect on the journey. Okay. Tell someone's never been in a wedding band before. You never did that in Joshua Redmond's quartet?
I'm
Adam
small town boy.
And you're
not a
listening. That's Peter Martin. You're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Oh, you just...
Music Explored.
Oh, Music Explored. Exactly. Music
Explored
Explored.
brought to you by Open Studio.
This is like the gold hour. This is an interesting time of day here.
For all your jazz lesson needs. This is like the golden hour of comedy, Peter, of comedic errors.
That's right. We're having fun. We're having fun.
Yeah, we are.
We're in a very self-reflective, perhaps self-refractive mode today. We're examining... Why is that funny?
He's a wordsmith, everybody. Self-reflective, and just in Peter's mind, it's like reflective.
Well, you can reflect, you can refract. Okay, we got to let people in on why we're laughing so much. Though. Something funny just happened, for real.
Yeah, so if you watched our, if you're going to watch an episode in a couple weeks, maybe about a week, where we talk about our least favorite holiday tunes.
Ooh, a little bit of foreboding, foreshadowing, perhaps.
Yeah, you're going to like this episode. It's really fun. We had a great time.
You're not going to like any of the songs, but you're going to like the episode.
But at the end of it, he's looking up this Instagram post from this band. It's a very funny turn the episode takes, and we're looking at this band's Instagram post. A short,
right?
Yeah. Which is very apropos of today's episode. But Peter, for whatever reason, this short has 3.2 million views.
Yeah.
And it wasn't showing up as any comments.
It said no comments. I was so excited.
And Peter's like, there's no comments on this 3.5 million view short.
And it even said, be the first to comment. So it was an invitation to comment.
First.
I did.
He commented first, and then literally he refreshed, and there were like 3,500 comments.
Right. It just all filled in.
It all filled in.
It was a little bit of a bug in the system.
We're making him leave it because it's hilarious.
Right.
So
you've even commented on you replied to my comment. Thank you for that, by the way.
In about a week, when you see this episode about our least favorite Christmas songs, go check out the short at the end of the episode that we are watching and see if you can go give Peter some crap about it. It's really funny.
That was fun. That was fun. But that is very apropos for today because we are talking about shorts. We're in a self-reflective mood.
Shorts in December? Shorts. It's too cold, man, for shorts.
That's right. We're wearing sharts, as we say in St. Louis. Sharts.
It's sharts weather.
Yeah. But no, we've talked about it a little bit here on the pod, but we also have a day job here called Open Studio.
Correct.
Go to openstudiojazz.com, our sponsor of the You'll Hear It podcast. But a lot of the content we put over there, first of all, if you're not subscribed to the Open Studio YouTube channel, maybe you got confused. maybe you didn't realize what was happening, that was some sort of paid situation. It's not. It is free, available to all. So please go subscribe to that. But one of the main sort of creative outlets that we've been doing for the past year and a half, 2 years now, maybe, has been making shorts, what we colloquially call shorts. Well, YouTube calls them shorts as well.
Short form vertical videos that are 60 seconds or under.
Right. So whereas when we do our horizontal regular videos, we lay down and talk to the camera, these are very good for standing up because they're vertical,
So today we're going to be, what are we going to do? This is your idea, and so I'm just kind of on the journey here. I'm along for the ride.
Come on the journey.
Like the dear listener.
Okay, can you guys see Adam's face right now? Every time I go into
I want to hear you finish the whole phrase. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear now the second half.
I'm just a small town boy.
Not the melody.
It's close. That's the background. That's Bee Gees, baby. Bee Gees. Okay, so what we're going to do is I've put together some of my favorites. We've made hundreds of shorts here.
Yeah.
And most of them have featured yourself. Many of them have featured myself, but we've also had guests. We've done stuff together. We've had amazing artists that have come in and done things. But some of these are going to be a surprise to you. And some of them are my subjective opinion on them, so I'll be interested to hear your things. So the first one is what I would call our funnest short.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we're going to watch it, and you can let me know.
Or listen to it for our dear listeners.
Okay, listen and watch. Okay? Can we pull that bad boy up? Here we go. This is what I think is our funnest one.
This is Edu Ribeiro and Trio Corente.
Yeah.
3 Brazilian jazz legends. This was such a fun session with them, man.
Fun
Playing
and
alone
groovy.
together through 5 different Brazilian styles. Just crushing every one of them. They came in and they did 10 shorts in 1 hour.
It was
They just
great.
had incredible energy and ideas.
Audio killing. Shout out Caleb Kirby, producer Caleb.
Producer Caleb and Andy Steven on the videography, running the cameras.
Ha, I love that.
And the bass tone, Caleb, crazy.
Happy practicing.
So that was a fun one, right?
So much fun, and those
Yeah.
guys are so sweet, and they're so much fun, and they're all just monster
Sometimes
musicians.
Right.
I know what that one is. I know that one really well.
Sorry, I jumped the gun on that one. Sorry. Yeah, so I don't know. Is there anyone we've done that's more fun than that?
No,
Just, yeah.
Trio Corente was definitely the most fun. Although, this last Friday we did have the Emmett Cohen Trio
Yes.
in, and we did 11 shorts with the Emmett Cohen Trio. None of those have been released at this point, but
No.
they will be.
They will be. Those are going to be fun.
And those were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Joe Farnsworth on the drums, Ruben Rogers on the bass. You know what's fun about the shorts format in general, and watching Trio Corente do this, because when we're doing it, I'm just in it. I'm making it, but watching another group of artists come up with the ideas is that we always talk about like restrictive practice here at the podcast, right? And that's a philosophy we believe in at Open Studio, where you restrict yourself to either one thing or you take away options to kind of handcuff yourself and make you focus on something that you want to improve. And the cool thing about making these short form videos, like you might think like, 60 seconds, you can't say anything deep in 60 seconds.
Well, you can't say anything.
You can't say anything deep. But it is a challenge where it's like, okay, I can't go through the whole shebang in 60 seconds of this idea, right? Like I can't do a complete tutorial on modal interchange in 60 seconds, but I can show you maybe one interesting idea that you can pull from and that you can use in your practice like today. And so that's been the challenge. And to me, it's actually been really clarifying. It's been a big help as far as like how to teach, because it's like, okay, well, if you can just teach one thing right now, what would you teach and how would you teach it in 60 seconds so that it can be impactful? So if you can answer those questions, then you're in a good place.
That's a great way to put it. And the next actually leads really well to the next one. I'm going to go a little bit out of order here. I'm calling it audible, but this one, I called this one sort of our biggest breakthrough. It also has a fantastic loop, but breakthrough in terms of exactly what you were just talking about. This is a seamless key change warm-up, but a breakthrough in terms of like, how do you get one concept beautifully delivered to the listener in under 60 seconds, where it could almost feel like it's longer. It definitely feels like it's much longer than it is. It's not 5 grooves within a minute, which seems longer, but this is just like one concept. And I thought, and I remember exactly where I was when I called you, when I first saw what you had made on this, I was like, this is going to be big for us. This is going to open up a new pathway, a new connection with the listeners. And I think that kind of was proven out to be. So here is seamless key change warm-up.
Seamless key change warm-up.
we
We start with the
how many
goal of
times
just
are we
wanting to
gonna
get from C to F. And you're saying, Adam, yeah, well, I can just go from C to F. But can you do it in a seamless way where your audience doesn't even know that you're getting there? So first we're going to find a common chord tone. How about A minor? It's shared with both the key of C and the key of F. And then from there, we can maybe add a secondary dominant, a C7, which brings home that key of F even more. And from there, what if we added a 2 chord to that secondary dominant? Now we can approach that 2 chord from its secondary dominant. And then we can approach that secondary dominant from its secondary dominant. And before we know it, we've seamlessly transitioned from the key of C to the key of F. Do that to the key of F, to the key of G, to the key of B flat, to the key of E flat. You do that and you'll have a real handle on this
Seamless key
change.
It's
warm-up.
it's one of the ones that we made too, where the loop is really good on it, where it just keeps looping again and again. This one actually people have some beef with, and we can, now that we're in a long form podcast, I have 160 seconds. So the first thing that people note is that I might not be wearing an undershirt because of the way the color is on the video.
Wait, can we
I'm
look at
wearing
that again? Let's
I'm
pull
wearing
that
like a
up again.
purple undershirt, but it is very close to my skin tone with the camera.
Why are people worried about such things?
So
saying,
yeah, if you're
well, I
watching
can
on
just go
YouTube
from
here,
C
you
to
can
F, but
see
can you
that
do it in
some
a
people
seamless
will
way where your
comment
audience
like,
doesn't even
"Oh my
know
God, I
that
thought you
you're
weren't wearing a
getting it?"
shirt
So
for a
first we're
second."
gonna
So I have a
find a
black
comment. How about
button
A
down
minor?
that's unbuttoned,
Right.
and then a
The key of
purple
C
t-shirt
and
underneath that very much
then from
matches,
there,
at least in this
position
camera.
Oh, here.
my skin tone.
I
You see how it's like people are like, "Oh my God, he's really going for it there." You know, I like to be sexy as much as the next
That's the
46-year-old
seamless
man.
outfit right there.
I like to be sexy as much as the next 46-year-old man, but I would not go completely unbuttoned. I'll go 3 buttons down for
That's
sure.
right. You are kind of a button-down kind of guy.
Yeah, and then the other comment that people were commenting was like, "Bro, you know how many seams there are in what you just did?" And that's fair. That's not
does that
exactly
mean?
seamless. So we're going from C to F,
Right.
and then I'm
those
just
are
adding
extra
all
seams.
these seams to which is a great, like it's a bad use of language. And then the other comment that people get is like, I still feel like it's in C because you're on the 4 chord of F. And what I didn't have time to do, this is very kind of the limitations of shorts. Like if I were to do it now, I might do the key of like G major with
Yeah.
the major 7, because that would very much feel like with that F sharp, it was a new key. But going to F major 7, that could just be the 4 chord, unless you were to establish it in some other way. Right? Or the 4 of the F or whatever. Like you can establish that new key of F in a way that I didn't have time to do in the short. If I were to have to do this over again, I would have gone to G, or I would have gone to like E major or A major, something close, but not as close as F.
Well, you actually did try to redo this over quite a few times, so that worked. That worked out good. See,
I know.
well, yeah, this is great stuff, and I think what I think is special about this one. This was the first time where we really hit upon a concept and a sound, and like that you could see, like this one has so much more of just the hands on the keys than a lot of the ones even that we're doing now, like very much. So we filmed this on a phone.
Caleb shot this
Producer
one
Caleb.
on his phone.
Right. Was that an iPhone 7 or a 6S? I can't remember.
But actually, Caleb, I think this was one of the first ones where we shot the video on Caleb's phone, but we did record the audio.
Yeah,
The good
that was a breakthrough.
audio and synced it up. Because the early ones, which I know you have probably some queued up on
Yeah.
that are early, it was just phone video, phone audio. Which, by the way, if you're a content creator, if you're a musician and you want
Yeah.
to start making shorts to try to like promote anything,
Yeah.
just use your phone. You could just get started. Like
Right.
you don't have to buy the perfect equipment to start, or
It's the concepts.
the cameras that we have here.
Yep.
You can just use, I mean, this was two years, not even 2 years ago.
Right.
It's like a year and 9 months ago, we started this program with our phone here at Open Studio.
Yeah.
So it can be done.
Yeah, and as he said,
Quite
that, and,
easily.
and this is millions of views from a phone.
Yep.
So there you go. Okay, so that leads nicely to what ended up being the next one we're going to see, which is our most popular short of all time. What did it go? And this is the infamous so-called heartmelter chords. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, I know this one too.
Okay. How do you play it? Oh, there you go.
Sometimes we're asked to play on one chord for quite a long time, like this F chord, and this can get kind of boring. Well, we can do a couple of things to spice it up and add some tension, like adding plagal cadences, a beat.
Okay, can I note, how many seconds in are we? Probably 10, 15
yeah.
seconds. Have you played anything but a triad?
No.
Okay.
Over the F.
Calling all you jazz musicians out there. Welcome to my short. Peter Martin.
This doesn't have to be in the chord changes. This is just your decision, and it's a good decision.
Question for you.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that line? This is your decision, and it's a good decision.
I don't remember.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
A little behind the scenes there.
Just a little tension and release, just a breath. It doesn't have to be obvious. What if we?
The breath, though, I did steal from a TikTok influencer who's actually now in got a little bit of hot water.
Uh-oh.
Named Scout Dixon West, this perfume influencer that somehow just started coming on my TikTok
Yep.
feed when I was at this time. And she used something like breath once, and I was like, oh, that's such a good way to describe like just a moment,
Yeah. And again, this is great. Like you see in your hands very clearly. I mean, you're really going against a lot of like the so-called best practices to get millions of views here. What people say, like moving fast
Yeah,
and
but
like
it sounds really good. Like
It sounds really
the
good.
piano sounds really good. Like the piano. That if you see the little letter just to the left of F there, Peter.
Yep.
That's a lot of why our videos work really well. That,
Shout out Steinway.
that B that's on the Steinway.
Oh, just think if we had a D, it would have gotten 6 million views.
All right, Caleb, send a message to Jill. We're going to have to save up some company funding for a Steinway D.
But I think also like
After we just said you could start with your iPhone, we're like, well, Steinway
no,
D.
but this is iPhone as well, I believe.
Caleb, was this on iPhone?
I think this is iPhone.
But this was good audio, and we reshot.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good part of the story. We did reshoot this because the first time I tried it, I just didn't feel like it landed as far as like musically. Like I didn't feel like my energy was right.
But you were down to go with it, and I heard something in the audio, and I was like, we should do it anyway. If you're feeling weird, and I'm feeling weird.
That's right. Yeah. Caleb was like, I was like, well, it's not great, but maybe we just go with it. And Caleb was like, well, there's something in the audio, and we were like, well, let's just reshoot it.
Yeah, and I think that's the like what we started to understand is if it sounds great to us, it may break through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it will sound great to somebody out there. We never know exactly how many. If it looks great, if the content is great, like it's worth getting those details. Especially, I think even more so because a lot of people think this stuff is throwaway because it's 60 seconds long. But I would say even more so, it's like you have to have an impact.
No, this one it's been around for over a year. It still has over a year and a half. It still has we still get comments on it. It still gets like regularly big views. So
Yeah.
they have a shelf life. Can you keep playing this one? Because there's
Changes. It's just your decision, and it's a good decision. It's a little tension and release. Just a breath. It doesn't have to be obvious. What if we tried the 4 minor, B flat minor over F? Oh, that's gorgeous. Again, just a little breath. Whew. Finally, we can try a perfect cadence like a C7. Check out how beautiful this is.
So a lot of people don't love the C7 who are commenting, especially people who I think don't have a history with music that has richer harmony.
Yep.
I love the C7 over the
Yeah.
F. I love a 5 chord over the root
Yep.
in the pedal. A lot of people.
But I think you mentioned too. I mean, it's a little bit of tension, like it's a little particular kind of tension and release in it.
For sure, but there's nothing crazy about it. It's all voice leading. And then the only other big like negative comments we get on it is like a lot of people who are like, if someone asks you to play one chord for quite a while, just play that chord.
I don't know, but
And it's like in certain style, like if we're in the studio and you're like, just hang on the F, I'm just going to hang on the F. But if we're playing like open, free music in certain traditions here in America, you're expected to contribute tension and release to the situation.
Absolutely.
That is part of the job.
I mean, basically, if you see 24 bars of F or F triangle or just F major, like you almost anything, like you better come up with something
For real.
at some point.
If you're playing just one boring triad, I mean, and if you're like a meticulous, this is composed, supposed to be like this is the way I want it, and that's the vibe of the gig or the session or whatever, okay, cool.
But then you're not going to write F with some slashes. You're going to write exactly
what you
play.
want. Be specific about it.
Yeah.
But like I said, in all the forms of music I play,
Yeah.
part of our job is to provide harmonic tension and release. Of course, with taste. You know what I mean? Like, not just to be a jerk about it.
I think that's why this was so popular because there's so many people that are looking for ideas, cool ideas that are simple and nuanced for when you are just playing. I think that you really hit on a lot of people's pain point. It's like how people know they can go to different things like no, and so then they give up. They're like, there's nothing. And then sometimes when you see a simple solution like this and some options, and you hear it, you're like, wow, that can really work.
Yeah.
Another thing on this, and a lot of people I didn't realize assume if you listen to the way you're talking, people assume that you're doing voiceover, but you were talking as you were playing.
We always talk and play at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a skill that both you and I have worked on, and Bob Boo has worked on.
In most of our videos, you can see us doing that, but these early ones where they're on just the keys, I think people think, but it's the same thing. We're still, whether you can see us or not, we're never voiceovering.
And it's not to flex. It's just because it makes for a better video. Like it just makes for more interesting.
Exactly.
When we're asked to play one chord for a long time, these plagal and perfect cadences can be the perfect way to add a little tension and release to it. Sometimes we're asked to play on
So that's the first time you're seen on camera as well, is at the end. I didn't realize that.
The very end.
Yeah. Perhaps promoting the millions of views. Oh, sorry. That was a little humor.
No,
I guess it didn't quite get through to you.
No, it landed hard.
It landed hard, but
right
hard,
in my,
but awkward.
Right in my gut. Right in my gut. Thank you.
Don't worry, we're going to be getting to my gut here right in just a second, really nicely. Okay, so that's our most popular video of all time. Do you want to see our least popular of all?
Oh, I'd love to.
This features you as well.
Excellent.
But oddly, features me as well.
Our least popular short of all time?
Our least popular, our
No.
least viewed short. You
Okay.
ready for it?
What's up, folks? Adam with Open Studio here. We're
Now,
recording an
see, I just violated. I said we never do voiceover. This is one time when we did a little bit of voiceover, which is weird.
So can I just mention, this is over a year ago. We just had Stashgate 2024, but look at this is
Stashgate.
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I've got a category for that. Best mustache
great.
already. I didn't realize this was one of them.
live in one take this week. So let's take a little tour of our studio and see what's up. Here's our front room where Dan
like this
and Rachel
video.
and the rest of our team keep the trains running on time. Peter Martin has written some unbelievable music for this project.
Well, and no one's
just
interested in
banger
on this
after
short.
banger. And he's brought an unbelievable band with him. We got Reuben Rogers on the bass and Gregory Hutchinson on the drums. Doesn't get better than that. And Sarah Hanahan.
the views can get
absolutely
better than
burning
this.
on the alto saxophone. Of course, we've got loads of coffee and snacks, the cornerstone of any good recording session, and our brand new, there's Caleb, our brand new control room setup that we're so stoked to get fired up. Check the link in our bio for more information. Peace.
Okay, so
What's up, folks?
what's your thought on this one? Just different from anything we normally do.
Yeah,
That's one.
it was an experiment
Right.
of like trying to do like a little day in the life of.
Yeah, I
and
liked it.
I thought it was good. It's just not what we do.
Right.
And you know,
And
for
maybe
those
the
kind of
voiceover.
videos, I just might not be hot enough. Like I think you got to be like a hot influencer to pull off that kind of boring content.
Okay. Well, speaking of hot influencers, you may be right, but I would say a couple things. Caleb appearance in the short, that doesn't normally happen. I'm just throwing it out
What
there.
are you talking about? He's in like all the time.
Is he?
Playing
Oh,
drums.
playing drums. That's what it is. You're not playing piano and you're not playing. You guys are appearing. Oh, sorry, that's true. Oh, only the most popular ones, not the least popular ones. That's right. No, but I think that is.
Yeah, we're
Caleb
not teaching anybody anything. It's just a little bit of behind the little BTS.
there. They kind of see you on the sidewalk and like, no, that's not your place, sir. Monkey, get on the piano.
Exactly
And
right.
they see you like puttering around the studio. They're like, get on the drums, you
Yeah,
know, or behind
exactly
the camera
right,
or
exactly
something.
right.
So I don't know. All right, Adam. Now I'm going to lift you up because we're going from our least
Yeah.
popular. We're going to go to our most religious.
Oh, I love this.
Sure.
Okay,
I don't know if you know that. We do some religious, mildly,
I wasn't aware.
almost like more CCM than religious. I don't know what you would call it. But this is one of our most popular of our gospel series of shorts,
Oh, cool.
which we've had a little bit of traction. So check this one out.
Stop by church.
When we want to infuse our playing with a little bit of gospel feel. You see, my demeanor has become more serious, more reverential. The first is how we're going to get from the 1 up to the 4.
Always a good question.
Yep. This is a nice little way to get there, right? B7, sharp 9, flat 13, and then up to the 4. And then maybe we go, this is an F13, sharp 11. And then we can go 3, 6, 2, 5, but instead of just 3 minor, how about if we go 3 dominant? And that was a little thing I stole from you, or that I don't know who stole, but that's the whole, like, well, you could do that, but wouldn't you rather do this? Which always is
It's
fun.
a good question for these shorts. Is like,
Right.
here's an option,
2 dominant.
but maybe this is a better option.
Right.
Yeah, great way to present it. Yeah.
A few ideas for you. Yeah, and I think that a lot of these, that's what this really is like a few ideas or even one idea. This might have even gotten into a couple too many, but it's the same thing like keyless
Seamless key change warm up.
seamless key change.
Keyless sea change. Keyless sea change.
No, the keyless
Warren-
seamstress. The keyless seamstress warm
Keyless
up.
seamstress
Seamless key change warm
Warlock.
up. Right. Warlock.
warlock.
Woo!
Keyless seamstress warlock.
It's like you play something that sounds good and then you show people how to do that.
Yeah, and you
know
can
what I
build
mean?
on that too. You add like levels to that for sure.
Yeah, and like what is the pathway to get there?
Yeah.
And I think that, when we're at our best, it's fun. Like, I mean, we've done some stuff where we're like, well, damn, we felt like we did it. Well, how come people didn't respond?
Yeah.
There's definitely different levels of it, but that's kind of along the lines where I think we sort of hit it.
Cool.
Did we looked at our first short already, right?
Not yet.
Oh, we didn't. Okay. I thought we did that in the intro. We had talked about doing that.
We didn't.
Okay, here we go. Okay, this was the very first. You might not remember this one. This is the very first short
Oh, I remember that.
that you
My
ever
old
made.
house. I don't even live in that house anymore.
This has more. You canceled the house?
That piano was in like this beautiful spot in the dining room in front of a window with plants on it, and now it's in this dank corner in the basement.
The same piano?
Same piano.
Is it green still?
It is still green.
I like how you added some accoutrements that are green as well. You were really going with the green
Well,
theme.
my wife, Heather McCorkle, she got obsessed with plants in the pandemic, and so they just kept any free surface that was available. There was a plant.
So not related to the green piano necessarily.
Check it out. Here's the C major pentatonic scale going down. Skip a note
Is this
going
the
down.
Steinway
to make a
B?
chord.
No.
Okay.
There's a Baldwin acrosonic. It needs to be tuned.
That's a C6-9 voicing. Move every one of those notes up and down the C major pentatonic scale.
This is our magic voicing system here.
I was just about to say too, in case you didn't know, this is magical.
It is magical. No, it's actually a pretty decent short.
Yeah.
Just explaining the very basic concept of that magic voicing, which we've done several times here on the podcast. And it's actually just talked to someone, Open Studio member, who really loves this course the most. It's like their favorite concept.
Magic voicing
It's
system.
kind of now that I look back on it, it's a pretty heady concept to take a pentatonic scale and make these voicings out of it. But to me at the time, it seemed really logical. Another reason why that piano sounds so out of tune is I was like, this was during like, what was this, 2021 maybe, but still like in somewhat of a lockdown mode or a pandemic mode with a lot of remote things, and gigs quite weren't coming back. So I kind of taught myself how to prepare my piano to get like a prepared piano sound, and it really needed some love after spending a week just like putting screws in it and all that stuff. I mean, I learned how to do it in a safe way, but it was still a lot of stress on that little acrosonic. So
Yeah.
it sounds a lot better now, actually.
Well, and what's interesting about this kind of screws up the narrative of like, look how far we've come, because this is actually really good content here.
It's not bad.
You know, I mean, just in terms of concept, it's like one concept, walking it through, you could really get something out of this.
Not bad, not great, but not bad.
I like how you're thinking about it. You're like,
That is slick.
It's okay.
he said, okay, there you go. All right, you want to hear about some more?
Yeah.
How about,
This is fun, man. A little walk down memory lane.
I know. Okay, this one is cool. If I see if I can find it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we played the one that we were surprised that, we didn't play it. I was going to say with Christian McBride. Okay, this one's fun. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but we are not just a piano shorts making machine.
We make a lot of bass shorts.
We make a lot of bass shorts.
and drum shorts.
And you may recognize this gentleman you're about to see here.
One of the keys to putting together a good bass line is making sure they're linear. You don't want to put together a
Most common comment on this, look what's written up there. A walking bass line. What's wrong with that? What you're seeing there?
Oh, it's the way the bass line is spelled.
The way that it's spelled incorrectly. Bass is B-A-S-S, spelled similar to the fish.
This is bass line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours truly put that, by the way.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's a professional musician.
walking bass line where you kind of like,
Can I just
If you wanna
about
break it-
that spelling of that?
Yeah.
I love that some people when we make mistakes, they're like in the comments, like, guys, it's obvious this is just for us to talk about it. And it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, totally. No, we are masterminds. It's not that we're just dumb piano players that don't know how to read or write. Of course.
We're actually too smart.
Too smart for our own good.
What was funny about this, the first person was like, you spelled bass wrong. I remember I went and looked, I was like, what? Because this is one of the few, probably the only time I've ever put captions on a short for us.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, no, I know I got that right. And I went and looked at it. I was like, no, that is right. I was like, it's not. But I was thinking, it's like, because I'm saying bass line. I'm not talking about the bass. I'm talking about a bass line. You know, like the bass line of an experiment. That I was like, oh.
No, it is the bass line.
It's two words, first of all.
It
It's not
is,
one
yeah.
word. But I was about to be like, no, you're wrong. You're an idiot. I'm actually the idiot. Anyway.
How the internet is humbling.
Yeah. And then another thing I love about this, you might not have noticed this, but what he's playing here is
together a
how,
walking bass line where you kind of like,
this is the bad. He's demonstrating bad.
I know,
It sounds
it's so
great.
good. I know. I would
he's like, don't do that.
if you want to break it up a little bit, make sure there's a pattern inside of what you're doing so it makes some sense.
That was a good bass line we had too.
I'll break it up a little bit.
nothing that like magical. We got the notation there.
Even when I'm making the jump, I keep it linear from there.
Oh, that's so good.
It just
One of the
it
keys-
just sounds so great. You know, it looks great. It's relaxed. The time, the groove. You know?
and Chris, and he's got the voice and the
Yeah.
delivery and the whole thing. Is,
And basically, the concept of it is just play a good bass line and make it sound
Absolutely.
great.
Absolutely.
And, you know, even if you're jumping around, it actually sounds great if you're me, too. So
Yeah.
you could do that as well. It really doesn't
if
matter.
you're gonna jump around, just make it sound good, like I do.
Jump around now. Jump around. What? Okay. All right. So next up, we got. Okay. So I got a couple that I'm calling trying too hard. Okay.
A couple.
We could have put a whole playlist together. This is like playing too hard, and then the next one's trying too hard. The next one's gonna be real. What I would say is really trying too hard. Okay, I don't even remember what this is, but I'm pretty sure I got it right on here. So here we go.
4, 5, 1 in the key of F. I want to make this 5 chord a little more interesting though. Let's see what we got. What about a dominant chord?
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah.
this is,
Doesn't seem like it was
That's
just
nice.
a standard
What
Adam
about like a G
trio.
minor over C?
Stash is in effect.
it's a
Nice.
2024 stash.
What about a walk down to G minor from A minor?
Oh, who's that? Who is that?
Great.
I'm trying too hard though. Look at me.
What about a B flat over C?
Okay, this is a classic like overacting. You know what I mean? Like this is like acting 101 you learn at what was the school in LA that everybody goes to for acting?
Meisner School?
Yeah. You immediately know. Meisner School? Yes, indeed.
It might be in New York. I don't know.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like the whole point of this is like I'm slipping in, me and Bob kind of look alike. It should be like a subtle thing. But what am I doing? I'm acting like a buffoon already. Look. Play. Look.
Great.
What's all that? None of that's needed.
What about a B flat over C? Oh, that's really good.
Oh, what? Playing too much? Like I'm calling attention to myself. This is trying too hard.
What about a B flat minor over C?
I like that you wave Bob off.
On my nerds. On my nerds. Where you at? What about a tritone sub? For all my pork pie hats.
Bob sounds so
That's
much better.
raw 12 keys, and you're good to go. Bob, you cool, man? Sounds good.
Caleb, you ruined the punchline. man.
5.
Now we're on an endless loop.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay,
That's
so
fun though. It's not too
no,
much. No,
it's
good.
fun, but it's a little bit like
You got to ham it up a little bit. Well,
Yeah.
we can't have fun around here.
Well, what
We
was
can't have
funny,
fun while making this.
the comments on this too were
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
right. What's funny about this? This was actually a really good video. It actually didn't need that. You know what I mean? Like this was one people commented and they were like, "Oh, I didn't even notice that Peter came on the bass. I had to watch it a couple times, or I saw it in the comments, and now it's distracting from what Adam's saying. I'm trying to get these chords. You know what I mean?
Funny.
So yeah. Okay, so that's trying too hard, and this next one.
Trying too little.
This one's really trying too hard, but I think we kind of pulled this one off. This is our most egregious attempt at acting. We're away from the piano. We've got guest stars. We've got background noise. And this was pretty popular, but we're really trying hard. We ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It does better with sound. My bad. Here we go. This is called "It's Always Sunny in Open Studio."
Peter, I'm just saying there's no correct fingering of a whole tone scale. There's nothing correct.
There absolutely is a correct way.
No, there's the right way, which is my way. But yours,
Juilliard School of Music.
Juilliard
That's all I have to
School
say.
of Music.
Check it out.
Bro,
Bam.
no. Check this out. 2 hands. Smooth. Not
Sloppy
that.
mess.
Oh,
Fun fact about this, I never knew until we were doing this that you could do that fingering that you did. I
yeah.
definitely didn't know the one we're about to see either, but
I mean, when are you ever gonna play a whole tone scale like that anyway? You know?
oh, come on.
please, sloppy mess. It sounds way better.
Clear.
Come here. Settle down before us. What is the correct way to finger a C whole tone scale?
Dude's a genius.
We were trying.
That's a good one.
It is
You know-
good. We were trying hard though.
Well, my favorite one about that is I remember because we never really play whole tone scales. Both yours and mine were fingerings that I kind of came up with, right? Like the one that I gave you was that one, the
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So Peter didn't learn that at Juilliard. Just spoiler alert.
I didn't learn any of this stuff at Juilliard.
And so, but that was like, I gave you that fingering or whatever. And then there's a guy, and I won't even say his name, but he loves because, you know, we switch off on shorts.
Yeah.
We switch off on videos. He loves everything you do. And every short that I make, all he comments on is more Peter Martin.
Really?
Yeah, he hates everything I do. But this is the internet, right? There's
Yeah,
just
of
crazy, mad people.
Mama
on
said there was going to be haters.
Anyway, on this one, he was like, of course, Peter is right here, as usual. And
Not
I just
Larry?
feel like now I get a little time to vindicate, like, actually, sir, those were my fingers.
And how is Larry's not the best, though?
Larry's
Clearly.
just 100% the best. Larry showed us that. We were like, do you have anything like fun
Cool.
to do on the?
Can you do
And he
anything
showed
at
us that thing, and we were like, had to come
gotta
up with
do
an
this.
idea around like,
Yeah.
well, how do we work a whole tone scale in 3 different
And
ways?
there was a lot of controversy in the comments. People were like, "Oh, they set that up. They overdubbed it.
No,
How many times?"
That was live.
That
one
was
take.
live.
Yeah, like
One
he
take.
nailed it.
Yeah. All right, cool. That was a fun one. That was a fun one. Okay, we've got so those were the trying too hards. I've got
That might have been actually like 2 or 3 takes, but it was only for the acting. It was not for
Right.
He was nailing the piano part.
right. Okay, this is a real recent one, and this is just kind of I thought would be fun because it's the most amount of yelling. We both have yelled at different points or said some different things.
I know what you're talking about.
But this is the most overt, so we have to nail this from the beginning. We ready, Caleb? Okay, here we go.
1,
Oh, yeah.
2. When you're writing a song in a minor key, it's natural to use the natural minor, the Aeolian, if you will. There are other sounds for other options.
Wait, did you hear? Bob's implying another little subgroove there. Did you hear that?
Yeah, man.
I like
Bob
that.
even
Wait,
makes
listen.
these shorts.
Yeah, check it out.
Bob
Look.
and Caleb.
There are other sounds for other options. Like check out our Dorian sound. Just 1 note difference, but oh, what a difference. All those different chords. How about a Phrygian? Again, not too much has changed, except Tom York says hi. We work on this nerdy stuff every day at Open Studio. Click the link below for our biggest savings of the year.
Peter, this is relevant actually because this episode is coming out that we're currently recording
Yep.
on Thanksgiving.
Oh, perfect.
And we've got Black Friday tomorrow. This is not planned as an
No.
advertisement, but if
It's
you
not
do
planned,
want
but Caleb, pull the screen back up because there is
but
something.
if you do want to join, they should know though. If you do want to join Open Studio for like the least amount of money possible, today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday,
Right. Within the next 48 hours, you'll be good
within
to
the
go.
next 48 hours from hearing this after Thanksgiving, you'll be good.
Or wait till next year. Nothing wrong
Or
with that, too.
wait a year. But no, this is the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go to openstudiojazz.com. It's not an ad.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but I know we got a lot of people who like are price conscious, and that's good.
Yeah,
to know.
hello, me. Awesome. Okay, well, speaking of that,
Yeah.
I've got a category for most crass promotional short. We don't normally do like,
That wasn't a crass promotional short.
well, that was, but this was not our most. This one is actually our most. Well, you can let me know, but I think this is our most promotional we've ever done.
Are you looking to get your bebop playing together? Maybe stretch out your bass lines a little bit?
in just 4 short weeks,
Maybe work on your inner voice?
I'll take you from 0 to hero. You'll be able to do
Counts
this
to
in
5K.
Do every day at Open
2
Studio.
hours,
day.
2 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Community, ideas, inspiration. That's what makes us the #1 jazz community online.
Crass promotional. I told
It's
you.
not that crass, man.
This is the
You
best
know,
time
some of
of
these
year.
cats are out here
To join,
like
it's
being
Black
like,
Friday.
you just
Our
need
best
30
deals
seconds
of
a
the
day for
Right.
2 weeks, and you're gonna play like Oscar Peterson. That's
Well,
bullshit.
wait till
Join
what?
today. Click the link below.
That's not bad.
Okay,
That's,
well.
you're just letting people know about
That
it.
was more so than yours.
I don't.
But to my credit, when I was in there,
They're
somebody
both crass,
said,
let's be honest.
Peter, can you make a Black Friday ad?
Yeah.
And so I just came up with that. And then later on, they were like, oh, it's going to be a regular short. I was like, really?
No, one thing you'll never hear us say is something like, the problem is with traditional learning of the piano is that you're done. Like, none of that matters. Like, develop your musical life that's our philosophy here at Open Studio. It's not a miracle pill.
Right.
It's just, it's a community of people who are trying to do the same thing you're doing.
Yep.
And maybe have some ways that you might try some things that could be helpful and maybe give you a little bit of some stick-to-itiveness, a little bit of accountability, a little bit of inspiration.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, this next one, we just got a couple more, Adam. Okay. Is actually our number one bass short. The Chris McBride one we played before is kind of with only the bass on screen is actually our number one. But this is the one kind of featuring around a bass concept. It's one of our biggest videos, short videos, period. See if you remember this. Take a gander.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just got to turn the volume on.
You know how
We're gonna have
YouTube works, don't you, bud?
That's the volume that I not always share. Okay, here we go.
How do you comp for a bass solo?
Tell me.
Well, the first rule
Tell
of
me.
accompanying anybody is to listen. Use your ears. So if Bob is going to solo low on this instrument, I might go a little higher with my chords.
So you're saying when he goes low, you go high?
So what I love about this one, for those of you who can't see it, so this was the first time that Max Gamiz, our in-house transcriber, he put the notation of the bass line and the notation of the piano chords, and he put the notation of the bass line between me and Bob.
Right.
I don't know how he does it. I think he's a wizard somehow. It's like magic. It's a magical spell. No, it's some kind of like rotoscope thing or something. I don't know. But Da Vinci, yeah, but it looks amazing.
But much as there is a emotional, philosophical, and intellectual barrier between pianists and bass players, there is a notational barrier between you guys as well.
Exactly.
And look, if you're listening on the pod, we love it. But this would be a fun one to go over and watch on YouTube.
This is also one that the legend, the maestro himself, Ron Carter, liked. Which anytime that happens,
we like that. We like when he likes.
This is usually the first way we're taught to comp for a bass solo, and it's good. I'm also listening so I can comment.
And like,
What if he goes
below.
high here, like in thumb position? Well, then we can support Bob and actually go under him.
Another fun thing is I love the way you're talking. Like we can actually, like, it's very much along the lines of us as pianists. What do we do during a bass solo? We talk a lot. We think a lot. We're meandering. We're teaching. We're doing everything, but actually listening to the bass solo.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, this comes out of conversations that I have with Bob, where we talk about things that I can do to accompany him while because he's such a warm and welcoming comper himself. When he's playing a bass line behind you, he's really engaged. He's really listening. And so I like to give bass players somewhat of an interaction too, as opposed to just like dropping out.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I like this picture too, where I've happened to pause it.
Jeez.
What do we call that one?
Lizard face?
Lizard face.
Lizard face?
Wow, you held it for quite a bit.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to comment.
Just gotta comment.
They need interaction too.
Huh.
And if all else fails, do nothing.
That's a good one. I like that one.
That was a good one. That was a really popular one. Lots of comments, lots of fun on that one. All right, let's see. We've got okay. This one's kind of fun because it is, I think it's the last or the last video that did pretty well that was entirely on the iPhone. Remember I shot a bunch where I was just like, I mean, we had like no mics or anything. I literally set here you can see what it looks like here. I set up the iPhone on that little crook on the piano, where you can kind of set it up, because I was like, well, this will be
Call
perfect.
that the Jahari Stampley.
Yeah, because I was still trying to figure out, like, wait, is this a vertical thing? Is this a horizontal thing or whatever?
Does that.
But this one, somehow, like the audio coming off the phone, we got lucky on this. Who's that in the background there?
Is that me?
That's you're working at your computer. This was a very casual time for us.
You want to work on your swing? Do a little restricted practicing. Just half notes in the left hand, single lines in the right hand. You got that feel though.
Oh, Caleb just said he's not sure about it.
It's
We
not
got
a true feel in
it.
the left hand. It's just half notes, but you have to
Content's
feel
really strong though.
it like you were playing a bass. You got a lot of chance in the right
I mean, here's the
hand.
thing, man. We talk about like all these little like the notation behind the head, and this is really great the way that Max has transcribed it and presented it. But content is king. Like if what you're saying is BS, it's not going to matter.
Right.
if you have a good idea, that's going to really exceed any technical or any kind of flash that you put on there. And if you're doing it in a way that's interesting, like just like when you play, like the content of what you play is important, but also how you play it is important. Like how you present this stuff. And this goes for like across social media posts. Like if you can present this stuff, which you do here, with a lot of joy and like a lot of like, come on in. Like that's what I think we're good at, being Midwestern boys, is like, hey, come on into the party. Like, welcome in. This is like a warm, inviting place. We're not here to like talk down to you or anything like that. We're all just trying to get better and work on this.
No, we're
together.
here to play at you and talk to you at the same time.
Right. No, but that spirit, I think, is like just how you present it is a big thing. And this is presented in a way that's just like, you're playing some badass shit here, but it's like you're doing it in a way that seems manageable. And like you're doing it in a way that's like, hey, this is what we work on to make to sound good. Like,
yeah,
you want to make yourself sound better, practice this. Play this now.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look, we've gotten a lot of comments on a lot of these videos about from folks that have, like pause this, slowed it down, and like practice this stuff, and it's really changed their approach to music. That's on you to do that, but I think the information is here, and it's very gratifying when people take the time to not just say, oh, I love how that sounds, or give me the PDF. Yeah, maybe, but that's great. But it's also like, these are just ideas that we didn't come up with. We're just trying to organize them in a way under 60 seconds because we have to, but also in a way that sounds really good so that folks can be like, wow, okay, there is a pathway. And to try to do it, the thing that I miss about just the iPhone sitting there on there is like, it's authentic.
Yeah.
Like there's no like, oh, did they overdub that or whatever? It's like you're talking, you're playing. I mean, look, we screwed up some things, mainly that you can't see my hands, which might be of interest, but it's all part of the journey, as we say, right? Okay. Awkward pause. It's all good. So I think I've just got one more, which would be, no, we got that one. Oh, okay. This is, you're going to like this one, Adam. This is what I'm calling the #1 mustache short. Or should I call it #1 mustache short?
It's ridiculous.
Like, as you noted, even some early ones you had a mustache, but at a certain point.
I grow a mustache every summer. And for whatever reason,
we grow mustaches all the time here.
We do. For whatever reason, this summer, I got so much crap for it. And I was like, I do this every August.
And I think this was the one. This was a really big video. Why don't you pull this one up, Caleb? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was the one that got all the comments about it for some reason. It was the timing of it. I think you were getting just a lot of awareness. And all of a sudden, this one popped up and people were like, whoa, what's up with that dude? This is the one, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
E major to the 6th chord, E minor. We're going to play one of our favorite games.
StackYourChords.com.
We're going to stack some plagels.
This is the #1 mustache short?
A 4th to E minor.
It's a good looking mustache though. Look at that. I might do it this year. I said I wasn't going to do it, but.
And then a 4th back to G. Now we're going to start stacking 2 4ths.
That's a nice entry, Caleb. Strong work.
2 4ths back to G. 3 4ths. 3 4ths. 4 4ths. 4 4ths back. Take it through all 12 keys, and you're good to go.
That's a great short. This is one of my favorites from from this year.
It's got if you can't see it, it's got this little graphic on it that is the circle of fifths, but we go around in like an opposite way in fourths, right? Which is a little confusing for some people, but it made sense to me to go like in the opposite direction of fifths. You go fourths.
Yeah.
And it shows the movement of it. And for whatever reason, that little circle with the arrows pointing when you're doing that, because we did it in fifths, the opposite way in another short, and that was very popular as well. People just like it clicks something in there. And I always kind of take for granted sometimes like, oh yeah, I understand the circles like that and why they work because there's these stacks of intervals or whatever. But some people can't get it until they see it. Like they see it in that graph and they're like, oh, that makes total sense, you know?
But I think it that makes sense to me because I remember when I first somebody, I think it was my dad probably, but when I first saw like the circle of fifths, just like, I mean, it wasn't like a cool video with the thing going, but you just see it. And I had a little bit of a concept of that musically in terms of like, I knew a few keys, maybe scales or whatever, some chords. So I understood what that sounded like. But to see it's kind of like the world of music, or like when you say take it through all 12 keys, like it's an aspirational thing for a lot of people, for everybody. You know, even after you have actually taken something through all 12 keys, you can hear that, you can see that, you know that world is out there. It's like seeing a travel video before you go to Japan. You might feel like you've almost been there, but until you get there, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
But that's what that circle of fifths, circle of fourths, it's like a visual representation of a concept that I think for a lot of people just, they have either just a little bit of a concept of it, or maybe quite a bit, or maybe a full concept of it. But wherever they are on that gradient of understanding, it's like, oh, because everything looks equal on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for none of us is all those keys actually equal or moving around amongst them. And so I think it's on that short, it's really a part of the story. You've got the story of the music. You've got the story of like when the triads change to the sevenths and you see the chords written, you're like, oh, it's a minor. Okay, wow, that feels different.
Yeah.
And then you've got like these kind of almost like a map notation, GPS kind of thing telling you where you're going. And then that's always home. And you see that as home.
Yeah. We're definitely going to be using charts like that more often because they do help to like solidify some of that stuff. Well, this is fun, Peter. Is there any more that you want to?
There's like 150 more, but I didn't categorize the other ones.
No, this is the nice little walk down memory lane. And thanks everybody for supporting the shorts. They're really fun to make. And like I said, the challenge of like getting something useful for people into a 60-second video, I think it's really fun. And I hope we can continue to do them. Who knows? The algorithm might, all hail the algorithm. And it's very finicky. So we'll see what happens. But it's really a real fun journey to try to teach music in 60 seconds. Really cool.
Absolutely. And that might be changing to 90 seconds. We hear rumors of that, which would really change. Are we going to stick with 60 seconds?
If it goes to 90 seconds, I'm going to change to 45 seconds. I'm going to go the other way just to be different.
All right, cool. Well, till next time.
You'll hear it.